If you ask me to define Reliance's business strategy, I would just say two words: backward integration. Let me explain. Reliance started as a polyester business in the late 1950s. They then got into petrochemicals, which is the raw material for polyesters. They then realized they needed raw materials for petrochemicals too. So they moved into refining. And to get the crude oil for refining, they stepped into oil and gas exploration. At each step, they took control of the previous stage in the supply chain, which helped them grow bigger. This strategy does not only apply to Reliance's industries, but also to their consumer-facing businesses. When Jio entered telecom, they didn't just stop at offering cheap data. They went ahead and sold cheap phones preloaded with Jio apps. One of those apps is Jio Cinema, through which Jio is not just building a streaming service, but they've also gone one step back and also started their own production house, Jio Studios, which makes movies and TV series. Same with retail. They're not just building marketplaces like JioMart or Tira Beauty, but owning brands that are sold on these marketplaces. Now that people are buying products and services sold by Reliance's consumer-facing businesses, the company wants to capture value out of these transactions. They want to facilitate these transactions as an intermediary. They want to help you get loans, make investments, and protect your wealth through insurance. This is where Jio Financial Services comes in. Now, the case of Jio Financial Services is very interesting. The company was actually started in 1999 as Reliance Strategic Investments Private Limited. In 2002, it became Reliance Strategic Investments Limited, a part of the listed company Reliance Industries. The company stayed in the background until last year when it changed its name to Jio Financial Services and de-merged from Reliance Industries. Now, if you're wondering, why did it take Reliance so long to enter the financial services space? Even though they had this company from the past 25 years, we have a few compelling reasons. For starters, this might have been a strategic decision to avoid direct conflict with Anil Ambani's Reliance Capital. Well, after the Ambani brothers split, the Reliance business empire in 2005 had two parts. Mukesh Ambani got Reliance Industries and IPCL, while younger brother Anil Ambani received the telecom, power, entertainment and financial services business. Entering the financial services space at that point could have led to potential conflict or even legal complications between the two. This is also kind of the reason why Jio's entry in telecom was in 2016 and not before that. Secondly, Mukesh Ambani may have wanted to ensure that Jio Financial Services would have a strong foundation by leveraging the existing Reliance ecosystem. By waiting until Reliance Jio had firmly established itself in telecom, retail and digital services, it could seamlessly integrate financial services into a broader offering, providing more value to customers. So while it might seem like they're late here, it's still a very calculated move. Now coming to the business of Jio Financial Services. The company is a systematically important non-deposit taking, non-banking financial company registered with the Reserve Bank of India. That was a mouthful. So what does it actually mean? In simple words, Jio Financial Services is a financial company. Unlike banks, they don't take deposits from the public. Instead, they focus on providing other financial services such as loans, insurance, and payment solutions. Being systematically important here means that the company is large enough to have a significant impact on the country's financial system. And because of that, it is closely monitored by the Reserve Bank of India to ensure it operates safely. Fair enough. Coming to the company's operations, Jio Financial Services is a holding company and it operates its financial services business through its consumer-facing subsidiaries. These companies are Jio Finance Limited, which focuses on investment and lending products; Jio Insurance Broking, which helps customers find and purchase insurance products. It actually acts as a middleman between the insurance company and consumers. Then there's Jio Payment Solution Limited, which provides payment services, making it easier for customers to pay for things electronically. And finally, there's Jio Payment Bank Limited. Now, at first glance, it might seem the company has no real moat, no distinct competitive advantage that sets it apart from its rivals. When the company was listed following its demerger, there was no real business plan in sight. The leadership team wasn't even helmed by high-profile executives with storied track records, and there were no unique regulatory advantages given to them. But one could argue that Jio Financial Services does not actually need any real moat. They are backed by Reliance's enormous capital and distribution. What if Reliance is new to the finance game? They were new to telecom as well. However, they disrupted the markets, thereby undercutting competition through unbeatable prices. And through their consumer-facing businesses, they have a massive customer base. They can easily cross-sell financial products like loans, insurance, and investment options to millions of existing Jio users. This means they can totally disrupt the financial services game. Be it mutual funds, broking, insurance, lending, you name it. All other companies in this space are going to run out of business because they can't compete with Reliance's deep pockets. Right? Not completely. Reliance's deep pockets can't truly help the company disrupt the financial services space. You see, unlike telecom, where the company had undercut its competition with low prices and gimmicky marketing schemes, they can't apply the same strategy here. The financial services industry is highly regulated. Any player cannot offer drastically low prices or flashy promotions without running afoul of strict regulations. For example, interest rates on loans and returns on investments are subject to regulatory guidelines, and insurance products have specific rules about what can and cannot be promised. This means Jio Financial Services can't simply use price cuts or aggressive marketing to dominate the market here like they did in telecom. Moreover, financial products are not as easily sold as consumer goods or data plans. They require a lot of trust and credibility. Regulators also monitor financial institutions closely to ensure they adhere to fair practices and maintain stability in the financial system. But then one could argue, what of their large ecosystem of consumer-facing companies? They could use that distribution and cross-sell financial products from there, right? Well, if you say that, you're partly right. Yes, Reliance can cross-sell Jio Financial Services products to other consumer-facing business they have. However, a huge distribution in a different industry does not always translate into disruption. You see, Jio's previous ventures in retail and streaming have shown that a vast ecosystem and ample capital doesn't always lead to market disruption. For instance, Reliance Retail has not truly disrupted the space despite backing from Reliance's huge telecom user base. They are just like any other retail player. Similarly, their streaming service JioCinema has not eclipsed other streaming services like Netflix or Amazon Prime yet. People still complain about their tech being buggy and full of glitches. Before making this video, we actually tried to use the Jio Finance app. And for 2 days, we were unable to open the app because of some tech glitch at their end. We tried opening the app through multiple devices also, but for no avail. This is kind of a deal breaker for finance-related platforms because any downtime or technical issues can lead to missed opportunities and even financial losses. This doesn't mean all is lost. The company still has a huge advantage. Their deep pockets mean that they can hire better talent and leverage the right partnerships to actually become a significant player in the industry. But we can't say so much about disruption, at least as of now. We make a lot of in-depth case studies on companies like this. You can check them out on our channel. See you on the other side.